And now we want to hear from Prime Minister, the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, and also he's the Minister for Disaster Management, Infrastructure, Public Utilities, and National Security. Prime Minister. It's been a long day.
Good afternoon. Yes, it has been a long couple of days. Pleasant good night to the citizens of Grenada, CARRIACOU, and Petite Martinique, our citizens in the diaspora, our well-wishers and supporters regionally and internationally. I want to continue to express my gratitude for the tremendous expressions of support, of empathy, for the actual actions of persons who have already galvanized relief efforts, financing, logistical support in helping Grenada, CARRIACOU, and Petite Martinique throughout this difficult time. On behalf of the people of Grenada, I express our profound appreciation for the solidarity shown to us and for standing with us throughout this difficult period. I want to start off by indicating that at 10 a.m. this morning, the Honorable Attorney General, Claudia Joseph, would have indicated to the public that the state of emergency, which had previously been declared, had come to an end except for CARRIACOU and Petite Martinique. So I want to repeat, the state of emergency for the mainland Grenada came to an end at 10 a.m. today, except for CARRIACOU and Petite Martinique, which remains in effect. It therefore means that all establishments, if they did not open today, we expect them to be open tomorrow. It means work resumes fully tomorrow, as was indicated by the Minister for Education. Students' holidays essentially have commenced, but teachers are expected to report to work until the official period for holiday is to commence, which would be on Friday. So students' holidays have commenced, but teachers and other administrators and support staff for schools, you're expected to return to work. We do appreciate that some schools are still being used as shelters, and so we expect that there would have to be some navigation there, but obviously the administrative offices and so on are not being used as shelters within the school, and so there should be no disruption to principals and teachers and staff being able to carry out their functions. We want to thank the principals and the teachers for the support during this period and for facilitating the use of schools as shelters. We still have, as I said, citizens in shelters. NADMA is continuing to provide support to them, and relief supplies are likely to continue in the coming days in instances where persons are not able to return to their homes, either because they have no homes or because the homes have been damaged. We will continue to provide the necessary support for citizens in these circumstances until such time as we are able to find more permanent solutions to the challenge of housing caused by the destruction wrought by Hurricane Beryl. We are aware that St. Patrick, St. Andrew, St. Mark, and St. John suffered much more damage than St. George. St. David suffered some damage as well, but not significant when compared to St. Patrick, for example. It is clear that agriculture has taken quite a battering. It is clear that many persons have lost their roofs. It is clear in some instances many people have lost their entire homes. But the destruction in Grenada, even in St. Patrick, which is extensive, is of almost no significance compared to the total destruction that Hurricane Beryl has brought to the islands of CARRIACOU and Petite Martinique. I had the displeasure of flying over CARRIACOU today, and I want to take the opportunity to thank the Prime Minister of St. Lucia for facilitating the use of a helicopter from St. Lucia, which granted me access for the first time to CARRIACOU. That helicopter is still in Grenada, and tomorrow cabinet ministers will get the opportunity themselves to view firsthand the destruction caused by Hurricane Beryl in CARRIACOU and PT Martinique. Having seen it myself, there's really nothing that can prepare you to see this level of destruction. It is almost Armageddon-like, almost total damage or destruction of all buildings, whether they be public buildings, homes, or other private facilities. Complete devastation and destruction of agriculture. Complete and total destruction of the natural environment. There is literally no vegetation left anywhere on the island of CARRIACOU. The mangroves are totally destroyed. The boats and the marinas significantly damaged. There is almost complete destruction of the electrical grid system in CARRIACOU. The entire communication system is completely destroyed. As of this moment, communication is still a major problem. Although I visited CARRIACOU and spent about 2.5 hours there, I was not able to meet or even speak with the Honorable Tevin Andrews, MP for CARRIACOU, because of the challenges faced with communication. That continues to be a major challenge to us, and we are doing everything to try and get communication, at least some form of communication, back up as soon as possible. Notwithstanding this very dire picture, things have begun to move. This morning, a number of volunteers, showing the true Grenadian spirit, volunteered their time and their resources by providing their boats and fishing vessels with the help of volunteers and numerous relief supplies, including water, non-perishable goods, tarpaulins, etc., were loaded on boats and taken to CARRIACOU and taken to PT Martinique for the first time to begin the relief effort to our brothers and sisters in CARRIACOU and PT Martinique. I want to thank the many volunteers who volunteered their time, the many persons who dropped off supplies, and the boatmen who took their boats not requesting any payment, who used their own gasoline and diesel and their time to take these boats with the supplies to CARRIACOU and PT Martinique in support of our brothers and sisters there. I want to take the opportunity to thank them. I expect many of them are going to continue to do so. And for the many volunteers who continue to show up to assist in this process, again, we say a heartfelt thank you. SVG Air, 2 flights left from Grenada to CARRIACOU today, and we expect that SVG Air will continue to provide support to the people of CARRIACOU and PT Martinique in the next several coming days. The Osprey and the barge escaped the storm by going to Trinidad for safekeeping. With the kind compliments of the government and people of Trinidad and Tobago, relief supplies are also going to be placed on the Osprey, and we expect that as of tonight, they would journey from Trinidad up to Grenada and CARRIACOU to bring more relief to the people of CARRIACOU and PT Martinique. There is a CARICOM-wide regional effort to support our brothers and sisters in CARRIACOU and PT Martinique and in the northern parts of Grenada who need relief. I want to take the opportunity to again to publicly thank the President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana for his tremendous efforts in helping the people of Grenada. Today, a relief plane, military plane from Guyana dropped relief supplies, and there is more to come on the weekend. So again, President Ali, thank you for your leadership, thank you for your empathy, and thank you for your generosity in supporting the people of Grenada. All of our CARICOM members have mobilized and are providing support through CDEMA or on a bilateral basis, including many of the governments within the OECS, Dominica, St. Lucia, I've already mentioned, St. Kitts and Nevis, Antigua. Our other partners, the United States, Venezuela, China, the United Kingdom, have all indicated their support and have already begun to mobilize to assist us in this process. I want to take the opportunity again to publicly thank all of them for the tremendous support that they have been providing. It is going to be a mammoth task to rebuild CARRIACOU and PT Martinique, but we are committed to doing so, and I want to say to the people of CARRIACOU and PT Martinique that we are with you. We will continue to support you. We will continue to ensure that you can rise again from the ashes. The Ministry of Social and Community Development is standing by to provide psychosocial support to the people of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Obviously, because of the almost total destruction of housing on the island, we have to make the necessary accommodations to house persons who are going up to provide support, and we will be working on these in the several days ahead. The Cabinet of Grenada held an emergency meeting at 7 p.m. tonight, and we have taken a number of decisions coming out of that emergency meeting. The first is that we will launch a national cleanup campaign on mainland Grenada starting this Saturday. We are asking all citizens to come out, particularly in the northern parishes, and to ensure that we clean up the destruction, the damage, the debris, the fallen trees, the fallen shrubs, and other debris that has arisen as a result of the destruction brought by the hurricane. The Ministry of Mobilization, Implementation and Transformation and the Ministry of Infrastructure, together with volunteer groups, will lead this initiative, and so you should expect to hear more details on this on commencing tomorrow into Thursday and Friday. Grenada belongs to us. It is for us to ensure that we take the lead in beginning to clean up our environment and in beginning to restore normalcy to our various villages and constituencies. We know it is not something that will happen overnight, but we certainly believe that in the next, commencing on the weekend, that in the next week and a half to 2 weeks, we should be able to have a complete cleanup. The situation in Carriacou is significantly more challenging, and so we will have to establish a task force with our brothers and sisters in Carriacou and in Grenada to just address the cleanup situation in Carriacou alone. Enormous debris, enormous garbage, enormous wastage has arisen as a result of the hurricane, and we need to ensure that we have a detailed plan to address this situation. The Cabinet will also establish a task force to do a detailed assessment of the loss and damage that Grenada, Carriacou and Petite Martinique has suffered in the areas of agriculture, fishing, housing, public buildings, private buildings, and public infrastructure, and the environment as a result of Hurricane Beryl. I want to stress that the environment has taken a severe battering as a result of this hurricane, not just the built infrastructure. We need to make sure that we record accurately the loss, the damage, and that we are able to quantify this because it has significant implications for the economy of Grenada, for the government's fiscal situation, and for some of our contractual obligations, liabilities, as well as benefits. As you are aware, Grenada does have a catastrophic risk insurance policy, so we need to be able to determine whether we have reached the threshold to claim under this policy. It has implications for our fiscal obligations as well as our debt liabilities. In fact, the Minister of Finance has already written to some of our multilateral partners to indicate that this catastrophic event has happened and to trigger our debt suspension clause in some of these agreements, given the fact that we will need significant resources just to clean up Grenada. The cleanup alone will run into the tens of millions of dollars. So we are also going to create a task force to treat with the impact of this significant catastrophic event on the current 2024 budget, the economy, and the government's fiscal situation. And we are going to create a task force to treat with coordinating relief efforts in conjunction with NADMA as it relates to our foreign partners. As you are aware, we have already begun to receive significant expressions of interest and support, and we want to make sure that we have a coordinated and centralized system for treating with this situation. The ministry which I chair, together with NADMA, will take the lead on this specific issue, and more details will be provided on this. As part of this, the Accountant General's Office will create a separate bank account, the details of which will be provided tomorrow, so that anyone wishing to donate towards the cleanup and rebuilding as well as relief efforts which have risen as a result of this terrible hurricane will be able to do so. We want to be able to create a separate account for this so that we can, first of all, accurately record the contributions and donations that have been made, and so that we can account to it specifically in relation to the relief and rebuilding efforts. So more details on the account will be provided tomorrow. We also want to address the fact that this storm, this hurricane, is a direct result of the climate crisis that Grenada, the Caribbean, and other small island developing states are on the front line of. And so the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, in conjunction with the Ministry of Environment, Climate Resilience, and Renewable Energy, will form a task force to address this issue and to bring it to the international community's attention, to recognize that we demand and deserve climate justice. We are no longer prepared to accept that it is okay for us to constantly suffer significant, clearly demonstrated loss and damage arising from climatic events and be expected to rebuild, be expected to borrow, to rebuild year after year, while the countries that are responsible for creating the situation and exacerbating the situation sit idly by with platitudes and tokenism. Grenada's economy, Grenada's environment, both physically built and natural, has taken an enormous hit from this hurricane. It has put the people of CARRIACOU and Petit Martinique light years behind, and they are required to pull themselves up by the bootstrap on their own. This is not right, it is not fair, it is not just, and so we will create a task force to champion this issue, to find the appropriate partners to continue championing this issue with, both within CARICOM, within the small island developing states space, and within the larger international community, including the United Nations. So I want to emphasize that while we are eternally grateful for all of the support that we receive from our partners, that justice must also be done. And Grenada is but one example of several Caribbean countries, year in, year out, which suffers this fate with no significant financial resources being made available to us to rebuild after we continue to suffer this type of enormous loss and damage. So I want to emphasize, we are only heading into day 2. After this terrible event, it will require a lot of work, a lot of commitment, a lot of support, and a lot of unity. And I call upon all of us as Grenadians to unite, to remain focused, to remain empathetic to each other as we climb our way, brick by brick, galvanize by galvanize, window by window, out of this awful ordeal. I express my profound gratitude again for all of the support that we have received and will continue to receive, and I pledge that we will remain united as we take on this task together. So thank you very much again for joining us, notwithstanding the late hour. We've always committed to keep you updated. We will continue to do so as and when the need arises, especially if there's any new information. I want to re-emphasize, this is just the beginning of the Atlantic hurricane season. It is just the beginning. And as you can see, Hurricane Beryl is barreling down on another Caribbean island. And we empathize and we hope that through prayers, the storm does not pass over another Caribbean island. Because we know what we've experienced in Grenada, we know what our brothers and sisters have experienced in CARRIACOU, and we do not wish it on anyone. So keep our brothers and sisters in our prayers. Let us hope they do not have to experience what we've just experienced, and we will continue to rally around our brothers and sisters in the region on this issue of climate change and climate justice. Thank you very much and have a great night.